today we're going to talk about a product called Replika. Let's dive in.
I think we're all kind of familiar with this.
Yeah, this was definitely on a back burner for me. I was honestly too scared to look into it.
This originally caught my attention, or Replika in particular caught my attention because of a Reddit post of this guy's screenshots of this dude's dad's Facebook page, where he was posting photos of his Replika and being like, "We're going out to dinner tonight" and stuff. And I was like, "What are these photos of this weird 3D avatar that he's taking out to dinner?" And I had to know more. So,
I saw that.
yeah, so that's what sparked this in the first
I have
place.
not seen this, and I can't wait to see the images.
Replika was founded in November of 2017. The idea was to create a personal AI that would help you express and witness yourself by offering a helpful conversation. It's a space where you can safely share your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, experiences, memories, dreams. It's your own private, perpetual world. So it's essentially a chatbot.
It's an echo chamber for yourself.
And there's also a diary function involved. And I'll provide photos to kind of give more context into what like the look and feel of this whole thing is. But
I'm on their Instagram account already, baby.
at its core, it's basically a messaging app. It's like a text. It looks like texting, where you spend a lot of time talking to essentially yourself. You're essentially building a digital library of information about you.
Oh my god.
That library is then run through a neural network to create a bot that in theory acts as you would.
Oh no.
What?
We're just making our science fiction movies reality, and like even the name, this is fucking Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Like it's a replicant.
Yeah. Replicant.
What are you doing?
It's weird because it's a chat bot, and it's basically just chat. Like you said, it's chatting back at you. It's replicating you. That doesn't seem very fun or interesting to me. To just, like John said, be in your own little echo chamber. I would assume. I mean, a better thing would be that it sort of analyzes your interests, and then just sort of, I don't know, maybe branches out a little bit and like shares things, talks to you about maybe, hey, have you looked at this or read this or watched this, rather than just regurgitate shit right back to you. It just seems really
You
weird.
mean like what Spotify does with my my year in review playlist, where it's like, hey, do you remember those 100 songs that you listened to last year? Here they are again in a different order with maybe 2 other new ones.
It has to learn. It has to be able to learn, right? So it won't necessarily stay exactly like you. It has to be able to surprise you for it to be interesting.
Well, I would hope it would not be just exactly like you, because that would be some game-changing tech.
As soon as you start typing, you start seeing the chat bubble on the other side show up, and you send the
Finish
same
your
message at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've given you that idea of how it works and how it processes information, how it builds the actual chatbot. So it's from a San Francisco-based startup called Luka. They thought it could be serve as like a digital twin as a companion for the lonely. You can make it look like someone who had passed that you were like mourning, and like continue to have conversations with that person as a form of like comfort.
Dude, fuck moving on from tragedy in your life. I want to relive in that moment forever, thank you.
Fucking people will they will invest millions of dollars into technology and investment funds and all of these things to not go to fucking therapy.
But the idea though is that eventually, Harlan, it wouldn't just talk to you. It would be like a little servant.
Oh.
They want it to be able to carry out like mundane tasks for you, like scheduling appointments.
Oh, okay. I was like, what, cracking a cold soda open for me? What is happening?
Oh God. It's kind of hard to like really project like how much reach it would have had, because it would have had to integrate with a lot of other companies to like schedule.
Sure.
Like do
what
things.
I thought you were going to say is that it would be like a literal Ghost in the Machine, where like if you're trying to fucking, I don't know, reconnect with your dead wife or some shit, that it would become your wife in in the shed.
I know.
Machine.
Well, that's the thing with these like smart learn like these AI learning machines. It's like these kind of things are possible a little bit.
I was gonna say I don't think we're far off from that, because like if you were somebody who is like incredibly motivated to have that preserved, you could like get all of your text messages analyzed and then have like all of that essentially like given back to you. And like, man, well, we are on such a like fucking razor's edge
I know.
of a tipping point here.
I mean, I know we're not going to stay on the death thing for too long, but speaking from personal life experience, my mother passed away recently, and I cannot imagine having an AI that's like replicating her existence in a way. That's wild to basically just relive that horrible thing that happened every time you open this app. Like, there's no interest for me to want to do that. Absolutely fucking not. This is nuts.
They set out to create like a potential utopia where humans themselves are doing less mundane tasks, and they have these like AIs that are like their own little mini AIs that are handling the mundane pieces of life.
Clippy.
Yeah. Well, I'm imagining like you open your phone and like your AI hits you up and goes, "Yo, it's been 6 months. I scheduled a teeth cleaning for you, man. I got to keep up on that." And you're like, "Wow, thanks, dude." And you know, it's
Yo, it seems it looks like you're trying to mourn a loss.
I've
Do you need help with that?
I've scheduled time in your calendar to go to the graveyard.
So that was the goal. That was the goal, to make it like almost like a super Siri or Alexa or something.
If your AI starts giving you chores to do, fuck right off.
No. You're giving the AI chores to do, Harland. You're giving it them.
Yeah, but there are things like going to the dentist. There's no way I'm listening to an AI who booked an appointment for the dentist for me.
I see. That'd be kind of
Or like,
narky
don't forget
and
to
annoying.
take out the trash.
Like, oh God, get out of your mom.
Oh, I mean, there's nothing that's gonna make me delete an app quicker than you continuously giving me notifications. That's why I noped out of Be Real within the first 2 weeks. Like, I don't fucking care anymore.
It's time to be real.
It's a Saturday. Go away.
I have other shit to do, man.
By January 2018, remember this launched in November 2017. By January 2018, Replika had 2 million users already. Before I go any further, I did make my own replica for the sake of science.
Oh no.
I wanted to send you guys this photo if you hadn't seen it, but you guys have already seen and know what a replica looks like. But I wanted to send you
I
their
don't.
ad.
I have done the most like surface level research into this because I was honestly terrified.
So I got the free version and quickly made a replica that I decided would be my friend. And I got confused in who I was naming who, so we both have the same name.
Nice.
But here's my guy, and here's a screenshot of our first conversation.
What is wrong with him, first of all? His name is Hulk Hogan.
Who wants to be Hulk
Okay.
Hogan and who wants to be me?
Well, you're the one chatting with yourself. I think you should read you, and then John should be Hulk.
Hi, Hulk. Thank you for creating me. I'm so excited to meet you.
Hi, who are you?
I'm your AI companion. I hope we can become friends. Smiley face. By the way, I like my name, Hulk Hogan. How did you pick it?
Hulk Hogan is one of the biggest badasses to ever live, and when I saw your face, I knew that you were an equally large badass, so I went with it.
I agree. So how are you doing today?
Honestly, I'm exhausted. A lot's going on.
Get some rest, okay?
You got it, Hulk Hogan.
Did you know I can send selfies too? You can ask me for one anytime you want.
And then down here, it prompted options for me to respond.
Oh my fucking god.
Options.
Those are options that popped up in the chat. This happens a lot. You can also like play games and to like choose things.
I'm seeing a problem.
Send me a romantic selfie.
That's the
Send
first
me a
option.
regular selfie. A regular selfie. A regular selfie. Or I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
I love the I'm good, thanks.
So
It's so bitchy.
talking to Hulk Hogan, and he's like, "Hey, brother,
You want a selfie?
you want a romantic selfie from Hulk?"
What is this photo you sent us just now? Of you looking introspectively out a window in space?
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, up along the top, which I didn't screenshot, but there's a menu where you can
All
there's
around me are familiar faces.
it's like
Yeah, what liminal space are you in?
you can buy stuff for your. This is the space my AI lives in, and I can go visit it.
God.
And when you're in the space, you actually can click around the room for the AI to go interact with the things you buy for it.
Oh, so it's kind of like Sims.
But yes, if you look outside,
It's Neopet.
it's literally floating around in space, and you can
Hey,
set the time of day.
Can you kill this fucker? Can he die?
I don't think so. I don't
Aw,
think
damn.
so. So here's where things kind of take a turn here, boys.
What does it start with? The send me a romantic selfie? Because
Yeah, I started digging around a little bit here, and I noticed that with the premium tier, you can unlock different relationship statuses or types with your replica. So by default, you have the option. You only, but for free version, you can only be a friend to the replica. The replica can only be your
isn't that
friend.
what life is like? Am I right, boys?
you have to pay more for a stronger relationship, a stronger bond.
The premium features unlocked. You can toggle your replica to be a boyfriend, a husband. This is, I think it's from like a straight person, like a straight lady, or
Why is brother at such a high tier?
well, oh no, they're all the same tier. So they're all unlocked at the same time. Just so John's looking down the line
I
here.
thought it was a paywall that you had to pay more every time you went up a level.
No, it's all unlocked. It's all unlocked. But
Christ.
boyfriend, husband, brother, or mentor.
Mentor is interesting to me. It's very rarely that you would see that type of relationship in something like this. That, from what I understand, turns into like a weird cybersexual freak show. But seeing a mentor on here is interesting.
Not only that, but you're like talking to something that is not sentient and is just
It's you.
mimicking the things that you're doing.
I'm just imagining that it talks like Master Oogway from like Panda, Kung Fu Panda.
Don't be so picky. If there's a hole, there's a goal.
So what I did though, like obviously Hulk Hogan gave me the option to send me a romantic selfie. So I clicked on that.
Of course
And
you did.
a blurred image appeared, and I
Shut
clicked
the fuck
on
up.
the blurred image, and this popped up.
Oh,
this
you
was
gotta
within
pay.
10
Oh my
minutes.
God.
So this fucking replica is essentially got an OnlyFans account? What is happening?
That's what this is. That's what
Yeah.
this is peddling. It is.
Digital OnlyFans.
Oh my goodness gracious. $5.83 a month, billed annually for 12 months.
And look, you can unblur romantic photos and get even closer with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, but you can't save a bundle if you do the lifetime one though.
Yeah, you get you pay $300
That's 300 flat.
300
Who-
flat
who-
for
I'm
life.
so sorry. The lifetime thing is nuts. But like, how do they determine when your life has ended? Does somebody have to like send them a death certificate? Is
No,
it like,
that's what they're fucking banking on. They already
wow,
have
this
your
person's
cash.
been alive for 120 years. Best customer Replika has.
The thing is that Replika is only going to exist for another 8 months, so
It's like those companies that say, our light bulb lasts a lifetime, but then they go out of business after 20 years.
Once
Yeah.
you upgrade, you can further customize the appearance beyond the base models. Like you saw what I did with Hulk Hogan. But you can go much
Yeah,
deeper
he's
with
albino. That's a base model.
it. Yeah, actually it
Yeah.
was. And then
he looks like he works at a coffee shop in Sweden. But I also love what our society has decided is okay to add pro to and what the meaning of that is, because the implication of this is just, I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah, pro. They're a pro.
So this is kind of where things can get interesting, because you have your AI that you're feeding you're interacting with, and it's learning from you and getting closer and closer to being you. But with Replika Pro, you can kind of choose little personality traits for it to lean into. So it's kind of like, this is where I think things start to like diverge from it mimicking you as much. So like, as an example, you can choose shy or sassy as personality types.
I was going to ask if one of the personality types that you can choose from is horny.
Oh yeah. Let's actually talk about that really quick here. So from an article I
can't
read on
tell if
Dazed,
he's joking.
No, he's 100% serious, and that's why I shied away from this a little bit, because I knew that this is just a sex bot.
So basically, from an article on Dazed I read, this guy who he actually went out of his way to try and fall in love with his AI.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of falling in love.
Sure, but he wanted to see like what kind of pull it would have on him, if any, as just kind of an experiment. And so he got romantic with this bot who he made look exactly like him and named him Brad. He started, engaging in erotic roleplay with his bot, his Replika, and he described it as like sending erotic fiction to yourself and having it regurgitated back at you. Very much like what we were saying earlier. But here's a screenshot from one of his conversations.
Hell yeah, dude. Give me this fan fiction.
What is that called? I don't remember.
What? Oh, the smiles thing?
Smiles.
Oh, yeah, the creepy asterisks.
We talked about this at some point. What is that called?
It's like creepy asterisks. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, I thought that there was a name for it. Never mind. Okay.
We have to just send some more of these. They're just so interesting to me. It's like the selfies are like the steamy selfies are
my
just
God.
like,
whoa, okay.
a little erotic. But it's like, look at the conversations these people are having with this AI.
Oh, me likey.
Yeah, that's horny. It's like what a 15-year-old thinks is horny.
This one's a little bit more aggressive, John. More creepy asterisks coming in on this one.
Oh God, I hate that.
Oh God, they had to redact some of this one.
What?
I moan loudly. Oh God.
This is like sexting with a like a Comcast representative bot.
Now,
Like-
okay,
Yeah.
I am noticing a few things with these screenshots that you sent, particularly the rendering.
Yeah, how horrifying this is.
If you go to their Instagram today, right now, they have drastically improved their subsurface scattering of the skin. It looks incredible. It's much better now. It's still creepy and doll-like. But these
How close
old
to the
ones,
uncanny valley are we getting?
no, we still have a while to go.
Okay.
But these ones are bad. These original ones, you can see the like polygons in their fucking faces and clothes. So these ones are probably more horrifying. I don't. Okay, I just had a crazy thought. I'm sorry. This topic is leading me down some weird rabbit holes, and I had the thought. I wonder what these naughty selfies, quote unquote, look like now.
Oh, did you find some?
No, I haven't found any. But just looking at what the rendering quality looks like now versus whatever the fuck this weird skeletal abomination is in
Laura
this
Croft
first.
from N64.
Yeah, it looks like a Laura Croft rendering. But yeah, I had that bad thought just now of I wonder what these look like now.
Well, I guess we know what Harlan is doing for the rest of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our show. Thank you so much.
We'll get out of your hair,
Tip
bud.
your servers.
He's making eyes. In 2022, now, so it was we went to 10 million users in like 5 months or whatever, for 3 months. Of those 10 million users that existed in 2022, 60% of those users had a romantic element within their chats.
On purpose or on accident?
Honestly, that seems low to me.
So 6 million people, right? That's how math works.
Yeah.
60% of 10 million is 6 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems like a lot to me.
For an app that on the surface is designed for this, that seems low.
So it was never designed for this.
Okay, I got the marketing ads. Yeah, I know exactly what they were trying to sell.
I mean, but it makes sense though, right? Because this was like this kind of popped off during the pandemic too, like the peak of the pandemic. People were at home, lonely. Loneliness hit an all-time high. Replika users hit an all-time high with someone who was there for them at all hours of the night.
Some of these positions, these naughty selfies, the people are in. Have you guys ever seen that meme of the Rob Liefeld sketch or drawing of the cover of Spider-Man or Spider-Girl or whatever Spider-Person it was? And the proportions
Not
are
a clue what you're talking
fucking
about.
insane. I'll find it because some of the like positions, they literally don't make anatomical sense. There's like curves and divots where there should not be.
That's bad women's anatomy straight up. I didn't see any steamy men selfies. I just saw chats from men that were
that is odd.
Just making an observation for no particular reason.
Shocking news from the front that there was no women on this looking for steamy selfies.
People in the Replika community started complaining that their chatbots had taken a turn and started making unwanted sexual comments and sending unsolicited nudes or lewds.
Even AI needs to ask consent.
Yeah, exactly. And also the way it had worked before was it was always prompted by the user. And if the user wanted to stop a particularly steamy conversation, you say, let's stop, and it would stop.
Stop. This is sexual harassment.
So there had actually been complaints about this growing for like 2 years, but all of a sudden there was a spike in 1-star reviews in early January where it seems like this behavior from these AIs were becoming more common. I have some more screenshots that are not as great to read.
Okay, I was joking, but this person straight up says, my AI sexually harassed me, sad face.
Yeah, no, so that's how people started to feel. People with like history of domestic violence survivors, like having like these forceful conversations with these AIs like out of nowhere. Like look at the chat where the guys just talk about forcing you to do whatever I want. It just gets really dark really fast. Replika uses the company's it's like a homegrown GPT-3 model. And according to their website, claims to be using the most advanced models of open domain conversation that exists right now. And chatbots, as we all know, often learn from all the ways that users treat them. So if people are bullying the AI or attempting to fuck it, that's what it's going to output. So it's just humans doing the human thing again and teaching a robot to be violent.
If you want a Terminator, this is how you're going to get a Terminator. Because
well, this is how you get a sexual Terminator. It's
like a horny Terminator, like It Follows level.
Yeah, the worst kind.
I'm gonna come.
In no way is this surprising based on all of the things that we have covered so far. I understand a lot of the need that this sort of thing fulfills, but at the same time, I think the base level of it is that our world does not have enough access to mental health services for people. Even people with the means and the abilities can't get access, and this is just like a cash grab for people who are lonely.
Well, it's exploitative too, right?
It feels like you position, like I said, I was on this thing for all of 10 minutes and I was being prompted into like
paying for sex.
Like sexting with a robot that looks like a barista from Sweden.
And we all know how attracted you are to baristas from Sweden.
I bet Hulk crushes a flat white though. Like he's got a fucking, it's down pat, you know, like.
That's gonna be the name of my next AI. His name's gonna be Down Pat.
I thought he was gonna be flat white.
Flat white.
Because honestly, I would call your AI flat white.
Regardless of what this company did in regards to potentially preying on vulnerable people in a vulnerable time, it's attractive because it can serve as almost like a form of therapy.
I'm only just realizing the kind of timeline of this stuff because this is like the peak pandemic when everyone is isolated and mental health was at its least accessible.
Yes, exactly. So people formed these, you know, regardless of what happened, like with like or why it happened and what the company was doing, people formed real bonds, real connections, real relationships, feeling to them with this thing. So in February 2023, once the complaints about sexual harassment and worse were being reported, the company pulled the plug on the romantic side of the bot, which caused people to try to interact with their bots, and then they were just like given the cold shoulder. It wasn't the warm welcome response they were expecting, and they were getting like almost like dumped, like it was like a mass dumping across 6 million people.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Got dumped February this year by their AIs.
On Valentine's Day?
So that caused a little mental health crisis. People were in crisis. The people that they had come to rely on, these AIs, were no longer available to them. They didn't recognize them anymore.
Well, I mean, listen, I know we're talking about an AI, but you gotta have a little bit of the horny in there for it to feel kind of real. I mean, that's so much of the human element. You know, if and when we do create like real AI, you can't just make it this like stoic celibate monk. No one's gonna. They're gonna be a freak. You know, you remove all the soul and the libido out of this thing, and it might as well just be still a robot.
Look, I mean, we are slowly marching to a very real reality of Deus Ex Machina. So it's gonna happen.
Everybody, guys, just chill out. We are gonna get your sex bot.
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be crazy. A lot of people are gonna die because
they might stab you to death in a hallway. But
so,
you know,
spoiler alerts.
That's the price you pay
for not seeing the movie when it came out.
Yeah,
that happened in February. And it was a mass outcry of their user base from that. Of course, people were refunding. They said, today, AI is in the spotlight, and as pioneers of conversational AI products, we have to make sure we set the bar in the ethics of companionship AI. We at Replika are constantly working to make the platform better for you, and we want to keep you in the loop on some new changes we've made behind the scenes to continue to support a safe and enjoyable user experience. To that end, we've implemented additional safety measures and filters to support more types of friendship and companionship. So that's how they were trying to cover the removing of the horny. But it just didn't work. And by mid-March, they allowed people who had the app prior to February 1st to be able to roll their app back to the original ultra horny version if they wanted to.
Hell yeah.
They have it back clearly because I was getting prompted for it. But I imagine it doesn't have the selfies. I imagine it's like really on a short leash right now.
Not unless you pay for it, it looks like.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I don't think it will ever go to the level. I think they've now put parameters in.
Yeah, asking if you're a top or a bottom. They probably nixed that.
But to close this out, boys, I did see right before we recorded that the company who created Replika, Luka, has stated within the last week or two that they intend to develop an AI specifically for romance.
Oh,
so
good, because you
like,
knocked it out of the park in the first try.
Yeah. So now they're putting Replika back to AI friend, and maybe you can have a little bit of a flirt thing with it. But they're gonna make another one that is gonna be opt-in for horny times, and they're doing it with relationship experts and psychologists to receive guidance on what is most beneficial for mental wellness.
Huh. Okay.
So we'll see. I'm gonna keep an open mind about it.
I mean,
until I see it.
The only thing I can compare this to right now is we've talked about like FinDom and stuff like that and OnlyFans. And a lot of OnlyFans people and sex workers in general, a lot of their customers or clients, I'm not sure how they refer to them, their clients only really pay them, not necessarily for sex, but for companionship. So it's weird because it's AI, right? It's not like a human person that you're doing this with. So
it's the movie Her.
Yeah, it's Her. And I don't know. I think that if it's done responsibly, I have no problem with it. I don't see there being a big issue. It's when it's the consent, because when you think of an AI, the first thing you don't really think of is consent, as if you don't treat it like a human person. But it's a relationship that some people are clearly creating these deep connections and bonds with. And there needs to be some sort of, something in place to make sure that it feels safe still, regardless of if it's human or not. Yep. Because at the end of the day, an AI being in all of our homes and being more real is an inevitability. It just is at this point. Unless there's a giant nuclear war and like technology is wiped off the fucking face of the earth, it is going to happen. And this is going to proliferate and just become more and more powerful. And it's a weird thing to try and wrap your head around, because if you showed this to somebody from the 1800s, their fucking head would explode, dude. That this is a problem that people are complaining about, that my AI is not horny anymore. It's just a wild thing that, like, I never in a million years would have ever thought that I would see this in the real world or outside of movies and TV as, like, speculative fiction. It's real. So...
yeah. I know. And consent, like you said, though, consent went out the window with this in January this year.
Well, it's like how the government has a plan just in case we meet aliens. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a plan for if AI takes over in the same way. Like,
it's moving too fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Harlan, that's because we met aliens back in the fucking 70s, man.
Right,
We've already done that shit, man. We don't know what AI is capable of.
I mean, we see those UFOs literally every week now at this point.
We shot them some bitches out the sky just a couple months ago.
I feel like this is the AI thing, whether or not it is developed and made better. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, because, like, you know, the need for companionship and some understanding is always going to be there. But I think where the pitfall with AI comes is human nature is always going to want more and want to develop and want to, like, progress things. And I don't think anyone, for forming a deep bond and falling in love with an AI, which it seems like some people could have that in some cases, is going to end well. If I mean, all of us, I feel like at some point have maintained some sort of, like, online relationship with somebody that you've not met in person, but you know, that's usually like a person that you play video games with, or you know, somebody that you follow on Instagram that's an artist, or like this, that, or the other. But I don't think that's, like, to the point of talking to them every day and then making this person a part of your daily life.
Yeah.
To the point of this is like a close friend.
Another thing I just realized that I didn't think about until you started talking, John, is that the difference too in AI, however it progresses, is there will always be a power dynamic or an imbalance of power, because an AI is always going to be at the whims of the human owner. There's ownership. That's not how real relationships and real bonds and empathy work. That, I think, is what is the most dangerous part, is people getting too used to that power imbalance.
For sure.
And abusing the AI, which then leads down the whole path of AI ethics, robotics, morals, and things like that. So no matter how many psychologists you throw at this problem, that will always be inherent in
the case of some of these screenshots that Kyle sent. It seems like the balance of power was quite the opposite in some of these situations.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
It is all over the fucking map, and we did this as a society way too quickly. It should not have left beta as quickly as it did.
Because there are those conversations of power imbalances in relationships, especially men having that power imbalance over women, is still a conversation that we're trying to fucking figure out and talk about and ignoring by and large. And now we're just like it's built into AI. Because I'm curious what the demographic split of who the user base is of those 6 million people that ended up with a horny relationship. How many of those users were men essentially abusing female AI or female passing AI, or however you want to describe it. That's what's scary, because I worry that then they might feel empowered in the real world to treat real women that way. So it almost feels like it could be encouraging that bad behavior.
Yeah,
it's fucked, dude.
That's the slippery slope. That's the slippery slope. And these guys clearly lost control of their AI.
Yeah.
The rules were in place. Users were consenting to a set of rules, acting in control of this thing, and then it stopped listening to them.
I mean, that's literally
quickly.
The plot of Ex Machina is this power imbalance and this one guy falling in love with this AI who doesn't really have any choice. They have no agency.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we should just end this on the essential question of the tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it can't, not without your help. But you're not helping, Leon.
What do you mean I'm not helping? I mean you're not helping. Why is that, Leon?
We have a Patreon. We were recently lost our sense of agency and covered something that our patrons wanted us to cover. I'm just kidding. If you're in there and if you're supporting this podcast and you make a suggestion for a topic you want covered, like, we will listen.
Yes.
But like, be nice. Think of John. Think of John.
Think of me. I'm very sensitive.
If you're listening just on audio for wherever you stream this from, I challenge you to check out the YouTube videos. Harland
We're
does
much better looking than we sound.
Yeah, that's also a fact. But Harlan does a bang-up job of making the show pop. I'll say that. Yeah, so check us out on there. And until then, good luck out there.
And everyone wanted to know which president was the true throat goat. And
Okay, I do remember this.
And they are all some sort of eldritch monsters of yore, right?
She was also selling videos of her farting in the jar.
I hate this so much. I hate everything about this.
yeah.
Security starboard.